Hey guys, welcome back at the Thisissoul Skate Shop YouTube channel. Right in front of me I have all the Powerslide Next models that are currently on the market. In this video I'll do a full review of what set these skates apart of different models, what makes them good, what makes them bad, and maybe even how you can improve them. So if you want to learn everything there is to know about the Powerslide Next skates, then continue watching this video. Powerslide is a German brand. It's owned by Matthias Knoll. I just did a complete interview with him in the Behind the Brand series. So if you're interested in that, check out our YouTube channel and search for it a little bit. Then you can dive into the depth of the Powerslide brand. I have a really good relationship with Matthias. He is a very logical guy, and if you make a logical argument, then he will listen and improve on it. So this is one of the things that I really like about him. And the result of that mentality kind of like comes to fruition here in the Powerslide Next Skate, because it has a lot of well thought out ideas. Because he is so open-minded, I like once every year or 2 years write him a long email with a few things that I think Powerslide can improve on. And I'm very happy and excited that some of my ideas are actually integrated in this skate, the Powerslide Next. And during this video, I'll point out a few of those things of my ideas that got incorporated in the skate. The Powerslide Next is a hard boot shell skate. It has a Trinity mount frame and it comes in a few different colors. Right now you have the Next Core Black, which has an 80mm, 100 and 110mm frame. There's a brown edition frame with 125mm wheels. There's, they call it the gray, but it's actually more like the lila version, comes with 80mm, and there's the 90mm black and white version. The Next Core Black skates are what Powerslide calls the NOS skate, never out of stock. So the idea is that you can always buy these three skates. And I think actually the 90 is also NOS, but the gray ones and the brown 125mm ones, these are a little bit set up different because they can actually run out of stock, and then there will not be a new production. So for example, the brown one last year was navy, and this year it's brown, and probably like next year it's gonna be, I don't know, dark gray or some other cool color. So those are changing. The whole idea of the NOS, never out of stock system, was one of those things that I wrote to Matthias about, that I would like to have a skate that's always there, and then it's easier for customers to get like a relationship with a certain skate, that they know what they can expect. You always want to have a black skate of a certain model. So that's this one. And then they do different colors every year. Also on the table is my own skate. So because I skate the Powerslide Next, and in the course of this video, I'll tell you everything about my experience with the skate and what I changed about them as well. Fun thing is that the Next Core Black 80 comes with an 80mm frame and wheels in the smaller sizes, and in size 44 and bigger, it comes with a 90mm frame with 80mm wheels in it. For the first edition of the Powerslide Next, however, this was not the case. And this was also one of the things that I thought we could improve on this skate. So this is something I wrote to Powerslide about. And they changed this because as like a basic skate, if you have a big feet, you should also have a long frame. This is my opinion, because then you're gonna be more stable. They solved it by putting in a 90mm frame with smaller 80mm wheels. And if you're gonna buy the Next Core Black in a bigger size, you can always add 90mm wheels to your skate as well. Now let's talk about the fit of the Powerslide Next. The lengthwise fit is pretty normal. So if you have, let's say you have a size 43, just get the size 43. Actually, the Powerslide Next comes in dual sizes. So if you have a 43, get the 42 43. If you have the 42, then also get the 42 43. Not all hardwood skates are really honest about this approach, because what is the case here is that a hardwood skate is a skate where you can take out the liner. That's the inner padded part of the skate. And usually what brands do, let's say if you have a 41, 42 skate, then the 41 has a different sizing label and the 42 has a different sizing label. But in reality, they use the same outer hardwood shell. And the shell determines the most part of how a skate fits. So it's kind of dishonest, in my opinion, to call it a 41 or to call it a 42. Well, actually, the 41 and the 2 will fit almost the same. So that's why it's really clear of Powerslide. So it makes it more see-through to have like a dual sizing system so that people can make a better informed choices. The dual sizing system is also one of my concepts. I wrote a long email about this to Powerslide as well. And they first tried it out in the USD Aeon, and that was the success. And that's when all the hardwoods, like a couple years later, all the hardwoods from Powerslide also adapted the dual sizing system. So I'm really happy about that. So the length is pretty standard in the size-wise of the skate, but there is something funny about the Powerslide Next size, and that's that on the top here of their foot, on the top of the ankle here, it's very low. And for my foot, that works just fine. But if you have a little bit of a thick foot over there, like a high foot, then we noticed here in the store, we have a store here in Amsterdam, which you can see as the theater of this video. We noticed that it's really hard sometimes for people to put in their foot in the skate, and that they feel sometimes some pressure points over there. So that's something you can consider if you want to buy online. Then only if you have like a low foot, then this is a skate for you. If you have the possibility to come to Amsterdam, then that's of course the best. Then you can try all the skates that we have here and see which one works the best. All right, next part that I'm gonna run through all the different parts that make up this skate. And the first part is the padding underneath your foot. This skate comes with a raised heel. Some skates have a flat bottom boot, like most aggressive skates have, but this one is raised in the back. This is really good for high performance skates because there's no like soft cushioning underneath your heel that absorbs all the energy. So that's really good. There is a small shock absorber though. That's this one. This comes in the plastic plate that sits beneath the liner. It's like a half centimeter thick, and that's about as much as you would like. I do not recommend putting in any extra shock absorbers above it, because that will also change the position of your ankle and your foot. And in this particular skate, that wouldn't work that well. Second part we're gonna discuss is the liner. The Powerslide Next usually comes with the MyFit Recall liner. It's a heat moldable liner. All MyFit liners are heat moldable. Just go to the myfit.com website and follow the instructions there on how to do it. Basically, you can put it in the oven, heat it up, put it back in the skate, put it on, and then it will shape to your foot. So that's a really cool feature. If you don't heat mold it, it will also break in a lot. So if you first put on the skates, it might feel tighter than it will be after you skated it for a while. Sometimes people say like that they think that their foot is gonna swell and get bigger after they skated a while, but in reality, the liner will shrink a lot more than your foot will swell. Another thing I want to say about this liner is that it has a nice little handle here in the back, but we had multiple cases of this one ripping here. So please don't pull on it too hard when you try to put on the skates, because it will rip. Another thing about the liner is that there's lace holes in the liner, and this helps to close the skate a lot better. So I really recommend you to use the lace holes in the liner. Now we're gonna go through the next part of this skate, and that's the cuff. We already talked about putting in the lace holes in the liner. You really need that because this particular cuff closes pretty hard. It's a little bit of an oval shape instead of a round shape, like for example this racer skate here or this roaster skate here. If you look at it from the top, it's more round. This one is more oval. And if you close the buckle, it's kind of like harder to close. So you really need the laces here. And another way to improve on the closure system of this cuff is by cutting off the flaps here, because these flaps can really, because they're so long, they create a lot of resistance when you close it. A cool feature of this cuff is that you can just unscrew the bolts here and replace it. And then there's a little rockering washer, meaning you can flip the position of the washer here and adjust the height of the cuff. Right now it stands stock at the highest position, but if you want to lower it for more sideways flex, that's possible. In general, I would say that the high position is the best one. The sideways flex is perfect as it is. I do think that the forward flex actually from this cuff is, in my opinion, too big. Of course, that's a personal preference, but that's why I changed the cuff for, this is a Dem brand cuff on my skate, and that works really good. All right, next part is the buckle. The buckle is a little bit long sometimes for some sizes, not all sizes. If that's the case with your skate, that the buckle is really long and that it goes in the cuff really deep, then it creates a lot of resistance here in the back of your liner, in the back of the cuff. And my advice is to just simply cut off the buckle here, and then it will also close easier. A big downside of this buckle here is that there's like a little weak point over here, and sometimes if you need to close the buckle really hard, the buckle actually bends a bit because it's just a plastic buckle. My advice is to change it for a metal one from, for example, the Razors brand or the FR brand. They really have really good metal buckles. Next topic is the frames. The frames come in a Trinity mount, which is really cool. The Trinity mount is a concept developed by Powerslide, and it makes it that the holes of the mounting are actually on the side of the skate here instead of in the center. If you put it in the center, then the mounting is a little bit in the way if you design a skate and want to place the wheels in just the position where you want it. So by putting the bolts on the side, there's no design constraint anymore. You can make the skate as low as you want. Being low to the ground is always better. So that's why these Powerslide Next skates are one of the lowest possible skates on the market right now, because of also the Trinity system. So that's really cool. All these skates on the table come with the Powerslide casted frames, and the casted frames are a little bit brittle. I have an entire video about frame materials and how they are manufactured. If you want to dive into depth about frame materials and manufacturing, check out that video, because then you'll know everything. For now, I can just say that if you have the possibility to get an extruded frame for the Powerslide Next, then that would be a lot better, because we have a lot of customers returning to the store with the thread of the axles being pulled out. If you change the wheels a lot, then these frames are not really made for you. If you do happen to pull the thread out of your frame, we do have a solution for that. You can put in some bolts that you usually use for a plastic frame. Just come by the store here or ask us in an email what bolts you should get. We have some solutions to fix it. We here at the skate shop know, of course, all the models that are gonna come out in the next couple of months and in the next year, because we already pre-ordered everything and we have a good relationship with all the suppliers. And I can tell you that there's gonna be a new series of the Powerslide Next in the next couple of months, which will have a lot better frame than the casted frames that you see here on the table, but we just have to wait a little bit for that. Next topic is the wheels and the bearings, and I don't even want to talk too much about it because the wheels and bearings are just fine for these skates. Don't worry about it. If you really want to have a high performance skate and you really want to go all out, of course you can upgrade them to some rollerblade hydrogen or some undercover wheels, but for like 95% of the people, these wheels they work perfectly. So we went through all the parts of the skate. Now, if you want to have any of these parts, and because you already have the skate, then we have a skate part finder tool on our website. So check out thisissoul.com, go to parts, and then you can just find all parts for the Powerslide Next Skate. And over there you see everything that fits and works on this skate, like all different type of buckles. If it's this brand or that brand, if it works, it works, and then you can find it on that page. Now, the last topic that I want to discuss is what you can change, modify to improve this skate. We already went through some of the things, but not all. So here are all the things that you can improve for the Powerslide Next. The first thing, if you look at my skate, you can already see it. I have a totally different frame. There are now some aftermarket brands that also use the Trinity frame system. This is a frame from the NN brand, but there's also Endless frames, which also make Trinity frames. And there's, of course, a lot of Powerslide aftermarket Trinity frames as well. And you can just make any wheel configuration that you want on your boot and improve your skate with that. The second topic is regarding the cuff. I do advise basically anybody getting this skate to cut off the flaps on the cuff. Probably it's a good idea to change the buckle or to cut off the buckle at least. And in my case, for my skate, I even took off the entire cuff and changed it for a damn brand cuff. Another thing you can instantly tell is that I changed the liner. This is an Intuition brand liner. I really like it because it's nice and stiff and hard, yet still comfortable. So that makes for a better power transfer. If a liner is wrapped around your foot and gives a good hard pressure on your foot, maybe sounds weird, but actually my liner is really comfortable and gives me a lot more control than the standard Powerslide MyFit liners. Another thing that I changed is I put in some waxed laces. The old series that are up to now had some waxed laces in them, but they were so stiff that it's really difficult for people to tighten them and to take out their foot and to loosen them. They're just like too stiff. But the new series of Powerslide Next Skates just arrived in the store yesterday. So when first looking at it, I immediately noticed that they improved the laces. So I'm super happy for that. Still, I think that my CCM laces are better than the new standard laces on the Powerslide Next. So it's something you can consider. Another thing that I did on my skate is I took off the ankle buckle. The ankle buckle just gets in the way for me. I don't really need it, and it takes up so much time to lace the whole skate and to put it on. It's already a lot of work to put the skates on. Sometimes I just want to go. And then especially for this skate, because I already said that it is really low here at this part on the top of your foot. So you don't really need the ankle buckle for this skate, in my opinion. Maybe for you it's different. You can always get the skate. It comes with the ankle buckle. See if you what you want, if it's annoying or helpful. Then another way to improve it is, of course, as I mentioned, to put in some high quality wheels. Of course, I've done that, but the standard wheels are just fine. Then the last thing I want to talk about improving is changing the insole, because this skate just comes with just a standard insole. But if you think about it, the first contact with your skate is the insole. So if you're moving your foot, the communication of your movement needs to travel to the wheels, and it goes from the wheels to the bearings, to the axle, to the frame mount, to the shell, to the liner, and then it starts at the insole. So if you have a really good, responsive, nice insole, then this improves your control of the skate a lot. And I use the Superfeet brand insoles for that, and I'm never gonna use another insole after this because I really, really, really like them. So that's everything there is about the Powerslide Next Skates. This was my review. I hope you like it. We learned a lot from having this skate here in the store, and there's a lot of small little details that we learned that I hope I could have helped you with. If there's anything else missing in this review, please drop it in the comments so that we can all learn from each other, because we all want to learn more about inline skating, right? That's why we're here. If you want to learn more about inline skating, subscribe to the channel, because we make a new video like this every week. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. Then continue watching this video. Okay, again, where should you pick it up? The last part I want to say about this liner is, oh no, it's maybe not the last part. Okay, okay, cool. The casted way to make frame is by like yeah, I don't know. Okay, wait, Powerslide. Wait, if you want to learn more, then what sets them apart from other skates? I didn't really talk about that, did I?